I just realized I still don't know how to record calls. Franco, I meant to ping you on it. Okay. Amazing. Thanks. Okay, cool. Awesome. Thank you. Oh, good to know. Okay. Cool. And there's like a recording bot option also, but yeah, anyways, we don't have to go into this right now. Thank you for recording it. Yeah, all right. Well, I'll go off and kick things off. And I wanted to actually like change something up a little bit for like our check-in. I'd like to ask everyone to also add like and on top of like intentions and distractions, could you also just mention like what your top priority is for comms this week? I'm gonna talk about that a little bit after we do the check-in, but like I think that would actually be really helpful first off to understand like what everyone's kind of what your main focus is for the week. So I will go ahead, I guess, and kick this off. My intention for the call is to go through the agenda as always. I wanted to specifically regard a little bit like organizational structure around the comms team, like understanding a little bit like again like what capacities are and what everybody is working on and like a little bit just looking at like resource management in general in regards to like what we have to get done and like who's available to help. So I added a couple of things regarding that to the agenda today. And then distractions are just that my brain is at like half capacity for some reason because I like had a weird sleep, I guess. So I'm like super tired, but otherwise fine. And my focus for this week is a little bit scattered, but mainly, kind of like making sure that things are getting done on time across the board, like literally on the planning board, and also helping as much as possible with tweet writing, because we've got tons of content coming out from DevCon, and also things needed for partnerships like with the standard. So tweet writing and supporting there specifically, and also creating like outreach content for Give Power, like an outreach doc that we can provide to partners to help us spread the word. So yeah, that's me. I will go ahead and pass this to you, Jake. And yeah. Go ahead, Jake. Sorry.
Lucky me. Intentions for the call is to add input wherever I possibly can on any agenda items. Distractions, I have family in town, so trying to balance that. Intentions for this week, I still have a bunch of follow-up kind of on donors from donor survey, pushing out donor connections, as well as initiating and finding new donors. So that's where a lot of my time is. And then also assisting on fundraising with Yaz and handling some of the partnerships / fundraising opportunities with that. So hopefully that answered all three questions, and I will pass it along to Ahmad.
All right, thanks, Jake. My intentions are to go through some of the issues that I brought up. In terms of my focus this week, I would say probably the number one thing is setting up Google Analytics. So it started tracking data, but we didn't set up any of the goals yet. So that's probably the number one thing I wanted to work on this week. And second thing is I wanted to also work on the video snippets from DevCon. So Sim already started looking at like what are some of the things that would be nice for us to like put into shorter videos. So I'm just taking those and working on that. And the third thing is, it's always kind of like the last thing because it's always going on is the project owners course. I would like to make some more movement on it this week. I know that like there's a few videos that are still pending, but hopefully I'll be able to finish off some of them this week. And I'm not distracted at the moment. And I'll pass it on to Claire.
Hi everyone, thanks Ahmad. My intentions for this call is to talk a little bit about gathering photos together for social media posts, get some good sort of people photos. Can we find a place to store them so that they are ready to go out for mainly Facebook posts at this time? And the other thing I wanted to talk about, those that were in the community building call just now, same thing for comms, just to get an idea and scope out what this working group does for sort of cost center analysis with contributor costs. Sorry, that was a bit long. I'm not distracted. I'm going to pass on to.
I'm Claire. I'm not. Maybe you weren't there yet, but I was also saying like to add one thing. What your top priority is for this week regarding comm?
I guess for me, top priority is just to keep scoping out the posts for social media, sort of an ongoing thing.
Okay.
And also to work on sort of the process flow for putting comms together.
Okay. Thanks. Sorry, my brain is half capacity. Process, yeah, content planning process. Would you mind passing it to someone?
Almond.
Thank you, Claire. My main focus for this week is to align the recurring content regarding the more human foundational Giveth concepts that I aligned today with Katia. For that, to at least a couple of those tweets to be ready this week. And also to align in the DevCon content that's happening, because I just opened 2 issues around the Sustainable Blockchain Summit talk that Lauren gave and the talk that Grief did. But if there is people already working on that, I would love to align for us to not duplicate any effort. And yeah, I'm distractions, not distractions. And I will pass it to Nicola.
Almond, what's your intention for the call?
My intention for the call, you're right, is to again invite everyone to join tomorrow Twitter space and share, please engage, repost, quote, the invitation that's already out there, please. That's my main intention for the call. And yeah, I'll pass it to Nicola.
Thanks, Almond. Hi, guys. Okay, so my intentions for the call is catch up, sync up, no distractions, and my priority for comms. And this week would be definitely make sure that address any adjustments that were proposed to the tweet threads, and I support Twitter Spaces, and I also want to see where can I help within my capacity. How can I support? Yeah, and I'm going to pass it to Ashley.
Hey everybody. Yeah, my intentions for the call, just to kind of sync up, see what's been going on since I was kind of in DevCon and not necessarily present with everything going on in comms. distractions are the givebacks round just ended, so I'm doing work in the background. And my top comms priority this week, I suppose, is catch up on. I know you sent me an issue, Corey. I got to take a look at that. Catch up on any tags that I haven't been responding to since DevCon, and help create a comms plan for Sea of Hearts coming out soon. What else do I have that's comms? I think that's it for comms this week. And I will pass it to Sim.
Thanks, Ashley. Hey, everyone. My intentions to understand the new priorities. If that's give power, then understand where I can do something there. Also to just connect with Ahmad. This can happen async on the amplitude analytics and setting up the dashboard there with the goals. Also on my mind, connecting with Claire on the social planning and supporting where she needs, and also scheduling a time to go through Plannable and show you, or show whoever wants to know exactly how it works, maybe just having 15 minutes on that. So if there's interest in that, then I'll set it up. Also then, this can also happen async, getting an update on the content planning process. And what I'm working on at the moment is top priority is the DevCon sound bites. So I am doing that, Almond, but I'm doing Lauren and Griff's talks. So I don't know if there's any other talks, but those are the ones that I'm looking at the moment. And I'm in a couple of tasks at the moment. So I've just got a few distractions, but I'm being as focused as possible. And I'm passing to sorry, I'm on my phone. I can't see.
Franco, maybe.
Franco? Okay, perfect. Franco,
Yeah.
please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Sim. Hi, everyone. Intentions for the call is just catching up, go through the agenda, and talk about maybe a little bit about the documentation that I'm working on. No distractions. And yeah, my priority this week is working on updating the Giveth documentation. That's it. And I'll pass it to Suga. I think she just disconnected.
Okay, let's see. I think she was the last one.
I haven't gone.
Oh, sorry. Yes, please go ahead. Didn't see you there. I was just looking at the list.
No worries. So yeah, my intention is to sync up and also share a little bit about the user journey meeting we had with, email user journey meeting we had with Ahmed and Claire. And the top priorities for this week, let me just grab that. So the what is Giveth documentation, tweet threads with Almond, and I'll also be working on putting together the email marketing campaigns. So starting with onboarding, it's like a 3-part thing: onboarding, re-engagement, and fundraising, but focusing on the onboarding as priority first. And then wherever else, and getting the updated project GitHub issue, maybe we can get a solution for it this week with some feedback, getting that closed up or at least onto the next step. That would be, those would be kind of like the biggies. And I think I was the last one, right? So I think it's done. So I'll pass it back to you, Corey.
Okay, let's see if Suga comes back. I'm not really looking at the chat screen, so maybe someone can just mention to me or call it out if Suga jumps back in. Cool. Okay, thanks. Sweet. So yeah, bear with me today. I'm gonna be semi, I don't know, my brain goes in and out. But got a couple items on the agenda today to go through. So yeah, we have some specific issues listed here. Before we jump into specific topics and the board, there's something I wanted to talk about first. There's just a little bit more big picture. Just to give you a heads up, is kind of I've been thinking the last couple of weeks and sort of just looking at the board and seeing how like things flow. And I put out my role proposal a few weeks ago, and like a big component of my role is also like focused around like process improvement and like looking at how we can like organize better and how we can work together and how like information can flow better, not only between teams, but like also like within our team, and also just looking at what needs to be done. And since we had DevCon come around, there's like lots of issues being created. We also have like Give Power coming out, and seeing all of that, it's like also becoming clear that like we have just tons of stuff to do, especially around like content writing, for instance. Like there's lots and lots of content to be written. And we've been like brainstorming new types of content to be written, but now also there's lots of content like coming kind of from external sources, like, you know, like an event like DevCon or other needs. And it sort of hit me that I have like, it's hard for me to understand at the moment, like what people's specialties are when it comes to writing content, not just specialties, but also like preferences, right? And also capacities. And so like what I thought it might be like a very good exercise, like moving forward, first off, to like understand what people are prioritizing on a weekly basis. Cause at the moment, it's sort of unclear like what everyone is actually working on week to week. Like we talk about it in our meetings sometimes, and like people will take issues, but I've seen sometimes that like maybe it takes a few weeks for those issues to start getting traction. And, you know, I just want to understand, it kind of helps when looking at the big picture of like what does comms need to be prioritizing like from week to week. And also like what are people working on, just ensuring that those things are matched up, and that I'm giving you like the right information, and also like appropriate timelines like to get things done. And so like the first thing that really like I already find this immediately helpful to understand like, okay, this is what you're doing this week and this is what you're doing this week. And then I know like where I can also fill in gaps and like what needs to be picked up and what might not currently be on anyone's radar, right? And then also understanding like as new things come out, like we have things right now on, like we have quite a backlog of content, and it varies between like Twitter, but also like long format blog posts, and then also like documentation. And so understanding like who could ideally pick up what. There's even like grants that need to be written, like who could ideally like pick up what and who prefers to pick up what. That's also like currently like really unclear to me. So what I wanted to suggest is that to kind of get clarity on that, I created a document that I think would help. And then also we've all created role proposals for ourselves, right? Where we kind of spell that out. So I thought, you know, first would be really helpful if you guys could help me compile that information or like send me your role proposals. And then I thought maybe it's just easier to have it in a document. So I created, like, I just did this 20 minutes ago, so it's not pretty, but like something around the lines of like this, where we have basically like per contributor for comms, like just understanding, like first off, just linking to the role proposal should really like be explaining most of this, but also help maybe so I don't have to just like sift through every proposal in so much detail, but I'll take a look at them for sure. But also just understanding like what type of topics you feel comfortable writing about, and feel, you know, that you like to write about. So that could, and I gave some examples here, but like they don't have to be limited to this. I was just trying to think of like all kinds of things that we write about. And then also like the format. So at the moment I have like a vague idea to some extent of like, okay, who probably would be willing to pick up a tweet thread, not just willing, but also like who feels really comfortable writing tweets, because Twitter is its own animal, and there is a style of writing on Twitter to get effective engagement, right? But then there's also the need for long format blog posts. They take more time, but they generally speaking, I think more people can probably write those, or maybe would want to write those. And then there's, documentation, and then there's also things like emails. So we've got all these different types of content. So it helps to understand like what you prefer and what you feel comfortable with and what you feel like you have like good skill sets in. And then, yeah, we just kind of did this exercise of like, what's your top priority for the week? But it would help to have that spelled out like right now, because I'm going to have an extensive meeting with Lauren again to sync up like after DevCon, and just not just DevCon, but after like Burning Man and like the last couple of months, and just kind of reassess again, like priorities upcoming. And then I can help provide like more clarity on that, and also just ensure that we're aligning our resources and our efforts around those things right now. And then I can let you know if there's something you're working on that kind of is like a mismatch at the moment, so that we're not like spinning our wheels, or if it's like, or if I see that, okay, everything people are prioritizing right now exactly matches what we should be prioritizing, then it's like we're golden, So, I don't know. I just wanted to present this like before, just like sending it out to you. But this would be like a really great step, like first off, so I can just start to understand like what's going on a little bit better. And yeah, does anyone have anything? Does anyone have any feedback on that, or is that pretty?
Thanks, Corey. Thanks, Corey.
Yeah,
I think it's a great idea.
Okay, awesome. So I don't think there's like too much more to say about that, but that's one thing. And let me see.
With our priorities, was weekly priorities, so you'd want us to just do it once off?
Yeah, I think like right now, like just once, like right now, like what are your current priorities? And I don't know if I would like need this weekly, like in writing or not. I think for now, like it's also really good, like to start our comms call. Like this is our one call a week, right? So it actually is really great to hear, this is what I'm prioritizing for the week. We do it in the governance call every Monday. And actually it's like a really good exercise. Sometimes it's like, oh God, what is my priority this week? But it's like good to go through that for a minute and come prepared with that information. And then it's also like, gives me like a really quick, great overview on a weekly basis. And then if there's something that sounds like off, I'll just let you know, and we can like talk about it, or I can at least understand like why that's a priority. Maybe it's something I'm missing, So I think that verbally for now, like on the comms call will help. And then just this one time, like for right now, like as I'm going through things. And then, let me change that. But I think that was all. I was like writing down some notes about this just to make sure. Yeah. Oh yeah. And the other thing is, hang on, let me go back to this. Can you see the agenda? It was weird. Okay. The other thing was like some timelines, right? So the idea here is like I've been looking at the board a lot, and that's like one key component of my role is to just be like using this board to just have an oversight of like everything that's going on, and also like ping and like just check on things and ensure things are moving. And like one huge gap for me right now on there is just like there are no dates like pretty much anywhere. Sometimes on occasion there's a date, but like most of the time it's sort of up in the air in terms of like when things might be completed by, when things are needed to be completed by. So it's sort of a two-pronged created. And someone's like, hey, this thing needs to be done. This piece of content needs to be created. The first question I'm thinking of in my mind is like, when does it need to be created? Is this something we need by the end of this week? Is this something that's needed in 2 days? Or is this just something we should do at some point? And we could move this out, like, we could take like 2-3 weeks to produce this, in between the other things. And so like, I thought it would be a really good practice that, and this isn't like an exact science, like I understand that it's not always possible to know, but it's an estimation. And it's also like, yeah, it's really important, of course, for things that are urgent, but it's also important when things are not urgent to be like, this is not urgent, but ideally we could have something finalized within the next few weeks or next, and that's too general. Let's say like give an estimated actual date, like by end of the month, November 28th or something, would be awesome, you know? And then of course, like as things progress, that can always be updated, but at least it first gives a first indication of like prioritization of this thing, like what is the ask? And then the second part of that is maybe it's not the issue you created, but you're picking up an issue that has like an estimated like timeline on it. It would be really helpful to know like how much time you think you'll need to complete it. So like, yeah, I'm jumping on this task and I'm taking this issue over, and I think I'm going to need like until the end of next week to get this done. Or yeah, I think I could have this to you by Thursday, you know? And it's just like some sort of ETA, so that it kind of avoids also like, I've had it many, many times where I'm jumping into an issue and we like talked about it on the comms call or something, right? Which is on a Tuesday. And then I look like Friday afternoon and I haven't seen like any movement on it. And I'm just wondering like, okay, maybe like someone forgot, or like, you know, I have no idea, you know, I just don't know what's going on. And then of course, like I write a comment and I'm like, hey, what's going on with this? Or like I ping it to somebody, and I'm kind of like spending time doing that, versus if that person picked it up and was like, okay, great, I got it, should be like by mid next week. Then I'll look at it, you know, when I forget, I'll check into that issue and see that comment there, like, oh, okay, yeah, right, it's only Friday. And then I can just leave it, you know? And then if it does get close to like mid next week, or mid next week comes and there's nothing, then it's like an appropriate time to follow up and just check in on like what's going on. And this is also not like with the intention to like, I don't know, catch anybody running late. It's more also like if we are running late on things, at least we can start to understand like why. Like, okay, it took like twice as long to get this thing done. Well, the reason is, I don't know, X. Like we just don't have, I don't know, these things take longer than expected, right? Or there's other priorities that keep coming in the way of getting this thing done. Like we have to look at like better ways to organize this. And when it does get done on time, I mean, great, that's it. So I'm kind of thinking like for now, it would be awesome just to have like estimated deadlines, estimated like dates requested for new issues, written in like the comments and the descriptions. And then I don't know, I'm also considering in the future, like maybe we can even use them in issue titles, like just for like really like easy oversight for everyone. That might actually be more helpful in the long run. But like for now, I think just would be helpful if they're written in the description when you create a new issue, and then in the comment when you pick up a new issue. So what do you guys think about that? I'm sorry if that was said in a very long way. I'm just
Sorry, I missed the last part. Can you say that again?
It would be great if like estimated dates were written when new issues are created, like date when the thing is needed. And then also when you pick up an issue, like writing a comment when you expect to have it completed by the draft, you know, if it's draft or whatever. It doesn't need to be like completely done, but I'm saying like whatever you're first working on.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. I think it will help to keep people accountable and, like you said, help us to learn how we can make our systems better, you know? I think it's really just about like learning how we can manage ourselves better and collaborate more smoothly. I know that at one point in time, it might be helpful to know this. At one point in time, we were using sprints, kind of like the devs use sprints. So we did 2-week sprints, and then you'd have like, okay, this is what I expect. These are the issues that I expect to be able to get done in this 2-week sprint. So maybe it's something to consider that maybe we align our sprints, with the other working groups, whatever those dates are that they're already using, and then we can kind of be aligned together and have more of a system in place now that we have more contributors. Just something to consider. It's something we used before and it worked pretty well, but we are such a small group, it was just like more overhead than necessary. But now that we have a lot more people, maybe it would be, and that way it would give you an idea of like, okay, in the next 2 weeks, these are the tasks that should be completed. And we can say, okay, in the next 2 weeks, I have the bandwidth to complete these 3 issues or whatever it might be.
Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, that's good to consider. I mean, it's really like it's a little bit of a work in progress. Kind of like still looking at the process overall. I think for now, even just having like the dates, I'll keep that in mind. That's good to know. Does everyone feel comfortable at least with starting with that, like just adding in dates in these two scenarios?
I agree with that. Sounds good. Will definitely help.
Yeah, I agree. I like the idea as well. And I know it helps me a lot. Also, exactly as Ashley said, holding ourselves accountable. So I already try to make it practice usually. When creating or commenting on issues, also to give a deadline. Okay, I can have this ready by next week. And in full support.
Okay, cool. Thanks a lot. Sorry.
Oh man, yes. Oh my God, I've been struggling. Connection. Yes, great. I just wanted to ask Corey, where is that? I was having all these connection issues. Where is that document that?
Oh, I was just I haven't even linked it here yet. Here, I'll put it.
Okay. Oh, okay.
I'll just link it. I'll link it here right now, and then can also send it to you if you guys want. But this is.
That's good. Thank you.
I'll just put it right here. Yeah. All right. Thanks. That's awesome. I don't want to take up the whole meeting on this, but that will help a lot, I think. Okay, cool. And there's lots of other things like sort of in the works. Hopefully, can come out with more updates, but cool. Then, so at least to get through some of these things on the agenda as well.
Sorry, Corey, it's asking for access request.
Oh, yeah, good point.
It doesn't seem shared.
Okay, yeah, that should be done now. There you go. Yeah.
Can you share the link of the doc in the chat as well, Corey?
Yeah.
I don't know why the issue is not opening for me.
I'll send it right here. Yep.
There we go. I see it.
Yep. So really quick check-in. Also, okay, just gonna look at time really fast. So, so photos and graphics for socials. Claire just touched on this briefly in the check-in. Claire, if you want to speak to that, please feel free. Otherwise, I can do a summary.
Okay. So we've been talking more about how we can make our social pages a bit more exciting and interesting. People respond well to photos of people, see more of our community, our projects. So if anybody has any good photos, good quality, by that I mean good resolution, and shows happy faces, any photos like that, can we find somewhere to save them or store them? What's the best way to gather all these together? I'm throwing that out to you. And then if you think you have any photos, you can pop them in there.
You remember, Claire, there's that gigantic...
I do remember something.
I guess it was a Google photo base that Ashley set up when we were in Barcelona, and that's all still on... We still have that. That's tons of stuff. I don't know if that's what you meant.
Yeah, something like that.
People
and
being
keep adding to it. So there's lots of
smiley
content.
happy.
Yeah, exactly. So along the same lines.
Can you
Where
tag
is
me
that?
and then I'll remember to dump, or I'll remember at least to put the link in there.
Lovely. That would be really cool. Thank you.
Yeah. I will, yeah, I can tag you here. Oh, sorry. My brain. Yeah. I think also, like, I'm guessing like a Google Drive is probably best for this. But, yeah, I guess this is relatively self-explanatory, but good quality photos, right? Any kind of photos we have from past events, maybe we have stuff from DevCon, whatever we have from East Barcelona, whatever we have from like Giveth on the ground. Also, whatever maybe we've used in the past for social media. It could also be like branded stuff, right? Like, I think like kind of whatever might be appropriate to be using. I don't know. We have like LinkedIn and Facebook, and like we have these other platforms, you know. So, and I think images are like really powerful. It's just about like, yeah, having like a really nice collection of them. So this is an FYI. The issue is linked here for anyone that would want to throw them in there. I think we just need a drive added in here so that people could like add to it. Is there someone who could like take ownership of that?
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
And Claire, I think there might already be a folder in our Google Drive for images and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's all coming back to me now. After
Yeah.
Barcelona. I suppose we could add videos in there if we've got any short, good video clips as well.
Yes.
Going forward.
That's a good idea.
Yes, we do have that Google. I'm going to link that. You tagged me. I'm going to throw that in there. I'm going to like leave myself unmuted because I can't unmute and y'all are talking and it's like when you're dreaming and you can't run. And I'm like, I want to say something and it won't unmute.
Okay, cool. And then like once you have the link in here, you know, maybe you can put it in the comms channel, like on Discord to remind everyone with a link to the issue or whatever, or a link to the Google Drive. But like, yeah, I think like it can be a collective effort across the DAO to like, maybe, you know, everyone kind of has their own version of like what's been cool, like something we've shared previously, something that maybe we haven't even shared yet, things we've used for blog posts, like all that cool stuff. And video is great because like video formats are like, I mean, that's where all social media is heading. So yeah. Okay, cool. And then just a quick check-in on the Project Owners 101 course. Ahmad, I know you said there's just a couple of loose ends to tie up. Is there anything you specifically want to highlight for this call?
Mainly just if you were tagged in one of the videos, just to follow up. I'll be following up with each of you individually, but yeah, if there was something that you started working on and you were tagged in it, yeah, just let me know. Or if you need help, or if you don't have the bandwidth, that's also fine. I can help out.
Yeah, this is like going to be such an incredible resource for onboarding projects. Like we're so close to getting it done. Like I think it's just those final last steps. It would be really awesome if we could just push this to completion by the next comms call, because I do feel like we've had this on the agenda like week after week after week, and like, you know, we're just very close. So yeah, if anyone has any reason or anyone sees any reason like not to get it completed by next week, maybe I would also like appreciate maybe a comment being written about that. So at least we could, like I had to write one for mine, frankly, because there's just such an influx of tweet requests now and like other things that have been coming my way that are like always urgent, like things I have to do by tomorrow, like work with Lauren a lot on that I just realized like I'm not going to be able to execute this. So I did leave a comment on the policies one, like hoping maybe somebody could just pick up the recording for me. I hate like dropping an issue, but I just am not being able to finish it. So if there's even an issue like that, like let us know. But otherwise, hopefully we could just knock this thing out in the next business week. And then it's done.
I feel like every week it's there, like it becomes more embarrassing that it's there, you know? Like we just need to finish it.
Yeah. And there's always things in the way, but it's like we're like really there. So if you for some reason like don't think you can complete it, like please it's also very important to like to flag that. So please just take a look at it. And hopefully it's done in like a week. Okay. Some other things here. I'm not sure who added this issue, but if you want to talk to Impact DAO regen token list.
Yeah, so this was me. So this is sort of similar, Corey, to what you mentioned before about having like a Twitter space for regen projects. So like, I mean, it's a way to promote them. So similar to that, one of the things that we noticed as we were trying to get give on different like places online is one of the ways that these token exchanges decide like what tokens they have listed is they have token lists, and anyone can create their own token list. So we were thinking maybe to make one that's all of the tokens for all of the Impact DAO projects, like in a single place. And then that would be a way for us to market with all of those projects. And it could be a nice like way for us to find new partners and also engage previous people that are partners of ours. I mean, so all that we need to do basically is just get a list of all of these tokens in a single place. And then, I mean, basically just put them on a single list, and then we just need to like submit them to these different places, and then they can list them after that. So yeah, I basically put it here not for anyone here to do anything about it, but just to keep in mind if there's a project that you think we should list on this, you can comment it there. For now, we don't have a list yet, but we'll probably have one by next week. So at that point, you can go back and look at it and see if you would add any projects that might be missing.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions about that? Okay. All right. Thanks for highlighting that. And then we have next also email journeys. Katya, I think you were talking about this, right? Email marketing campaigns.
That's more just a heads up in case anybody didn't get to attend and they wanted to check out the meeting notes. We basically put together like the different personas that we're going to be building the email journeys from, the different campaigns, and we'll be starting with onboarding, re-engagement, and where's that issue? Let's see. And fundraising. So, and I'll be focusing on onboarding first. It's just more of a heads up. And then once I have, I'm going to be writing the copy. So once the copy is written, I'll pass it around the group for feedback. Just a heads up. That's it.
Okay.
Also, I wasn't able to put dates on that issue, on that. It's blocked out for me on that thing. Yeah. Where it says estimate. Oh, that's where you should do. Okay, I was trying to click inside the box. Okay, I see where to do it now.
Yeah, I mean, you can. This is for the entire epic, right?
Oh no! Like I meant for the individual ones. It was black for me.
As far as I'm aware, I've looked into this. Like, there's not a possibility, right? Like, I'll have to look on. Maybe it's hidden somewhere, but I looked a lot. Claire, also, you checked, right? If there's possibilities to add dates to individual issues, and I don't see that this button I found, but only for epics. So,
okay.
it would be better if you wrote them in each individual issue. Like, when do you need it? Like, when is it going out? Or like, when do you need it by? Or whatever
Like
it
as
is.
a comment?
Yeah, you can write it in the. So what I would prefer is like these empty descriptions is something like we should change. We all do it, but like it's something we should change. There should be a description here, and in the description you can put the details of like the timeline or the deadline or like whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. And then if someone else were to be picking this up, they could write here in the comment, hey, I got it. I should have this done by whatever. That's kind of like with the dates. Yeah. But yeah, you can write it in the description here.
Sounds good.
Okay, cool. All right. And then we have this Crypto Plaza opportunity.
Yeah, so I went to a meetup, and this guy is in charge of putting this event together, and it's like one of the biggest events in Spain for the Spanish-speaking crypto world. I'm just passing it along. I don't know who reviews these kinds of opportunities and if it would be interesting for Giveth, but it does have a lot of eyeballs, and it does have a really great attendance. So I'm just passing along the info. I would have DM'd someone, but I wasn't sure who evaluates this kind of stuff.
Okay, I'm sure that
it
Lauren.
looked like there was only a couple hundred people going. Like the attendance, I don't know. Maybe I missed something, but like, did you
Okay,
see
maybe he made it up too much for me then. He told me it was the biggest, the biggest event for the Spanish-speaking world.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I looked at the PDF and I looked at it, and it seemed like only a couple hundred people were going to be there, like 200 people or something.
Is that not the exhibitionist? I might have misread it, because when I saw that, I thought it was the people exhibiting were a couple hundred. Maybe I misread that. I looked at it very quickly, and I just wanted to pass it along.
Yeah.
Okay, next time though, if it is a good opportunity, who should I pass that kind of stuff to?
I don't know if there's like really any one person as of right now. I think what you did is probably the best solution, and maybe tag Unicorn in that way. If somebody feels like called to be in that area or knows that they'll already be in that area, they could say, "Hey, I could go and represent" or something like that. But it's hard to have one person, especially when it's stuff that's happening all over the place, to know if we can be there or not.
Okay.
Okay. AMA silence.
Yeah. So this, yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Almond, can you? So this issue 872 that I was working on with Almond about getting the team on board with the Giveth message and how to show Giveth and so on at conferences and whatnot. And Almond, there's a thing on Friday. I don't know where to find the info. There's no info. What's going on? It seems super important.
Yeah, it's super important. We have the documentation ready, which is going to be the thought guiding the Friday session. Franco is making an event. This is for the internal community. I think Franco is going to create the event later today for me to start sharing in all the different channels. And basically, the guide that you already reviewed, Suga, it has I included the issue around the ETH Barcelona questions that the team received. I ordered those and tried to answer them based on the Giveth documentation and the official resources. So I asked Ashley and Nicola, and the team has been around for more time, if they can check that guide before this session, just to make sure that the answers are accurate. And it's Friday at 9 a.m. CT Central Time. That means 8 a.m. Costa Rica time and 4 p.m. Central Europe time. Friday, facilitated by Lauren.
Hey, okay, great. Yeah, I just good to know. It just seemed like, well, maybe that's one of those things. Like I was trying to get that info, so I hope that we can share that Friday. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you. Franco is helping, and we will start promoting today, so you all can join and we can learn together.
Thanks, Owen.
Okay, so FYI, and just make sure, obviously, to promote that in Discord in the channels, and everyone's aware of it when that's scheduled. Cool. And I want to definitely talk about this working group scope summary, because that's important. I was just in the call with you guys before, but I'm also like half brain today. So this was about creating, Clara, maybe I'll let you talk to it, but it's about creating description, right? For the community, for the comms working group.
Yeah, it's a description and it's a summary that puts some scope around what this working group works on, the tasks that it carries out. It's mainly so that we can begin understanding how much each working group is using of the budget and working towards each working group managing their own budget at some point in the future. So it's just a bit of analysis at the moment. But this description will feed into future role proposals, any amendments you make to your role proposal, and also will help contributors allocate their time more effectively when they submit those that are hourly, when they submit their timesheets each month. Timesheets, that's a bit of a, not that formal, but the new form that Fresh Air has been sending around.
Is this an issue?
No, I don't think it is at the moment.
Because it feels like this is a document for review, right? For editing and review.
Yeah, so at the moment, this is Nico that's put this together, and he's gone through people's role proposals and seen what tasks they are carrying out and just copied and pasted them literally into each working group for now. So it's given us a sort of framework to begin working with, and then we can just add and update whatever we see fit if we identify any tasks that should be on there that aren't on there, or if we think that something should be taken out. And then ultimately what's going to happen is there'll be a sort of comparison across all the working groups to try and see where the overlaps are and the crossovers are, just to try and refine it further.
Okay, makes sense. And if everyone wants to take a quick look, and if there's anything, I mean, because we're all working across multiple groups, right? So just FYI, and if there's anything you see that's like definitely missing, add it in, or if you think there's something, I guess everyone can kind of like generally review it, right? I mean, we're opening this up to everyone in the DAO. Give feedback on.
Yeah, I think everybody should have comment access on it.
Okay, cool. There's a lot in here.
We're all very busy, that's why.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, cool. And then the last thing I'm seeing here is should we start posting on Lens? I had the same thought literally today or yesterday, because Lens, since DevCon, is like doing another hardcore push. I have my own Lens that I have not been using yet. Is anyone actually in this group actively using Lens personally at the moment?
I participated in a hackathon that was put together and sponsored by Lens. So I was able to hang out with the Lens team and know the work that they've been doing. This is maybe a personal opinion or feeling. For me, well, Lens is still gatekeep, as maybe you already know. So that means that you need to be whitelisted to have an account. And to be honest, there is not much users an activity yet. So for me, it feels that maybe some other communication channels that are already there need more content, like Facebook or maybe Instagram would be more of a priority than Lens. But I think that rather than create a profile and start posting on Lens, something that can be interesting to explore is maybe generate a partnership or see if there's a way in which the team can collaborate in any way with Lens.
Yeah, I agree.
Can I chime in really quickly? Because I went to a talk by Lens and I have a Lens profile. I've posted a couple times just to test it out. And I do see some communities that are getting traction. It's like travel related stuff, so maybe not, or like crypto related stuff. But what I wanted to say is if we don't want to put any resources into it, there's a tool, and I can find it because I checked it out. I used it. It reflects your Twitter posts in Lens, so it's no extra effort. And then we start building up a profile there like effortlessly. You know what I mean? And if this thing takes off, we start to have like, you know, followers, and we are participating in a Web3 ecosystem, which is, you know, what we stand for, what we're about. So I think it's important to support those platforms and be on there. But yeah, we can effortlessly just mirror the tweets onto Lens.
I would say like that would be something to consider. I'm really hesitant to make this a priority now, to be totally honest. Like, we have so many other things to prioritize, but like, yeah, we could set up, if this would take like 20 minutes for someone to figure out like how the mirroring is set up, or if you already know, like fine, like let's do that.
I could take that on because I've played around in there.
Yeah. Because there's just so many other, things, like even specifically like right now this week, like I hate to, I don't know, prioritize Lens at the moment. That's also why I personally haven't even prioritized it. But like, it's not a bad idea. Like I thought about it too. Like Lens could potentially take off, but it's like a niche within a niche within a niche at the moment. So in terms of reaching audiences, like we get way more out of that on Twitter at the moment. So, but yeah, it's definitely could be kind of fun especially if it's automated.
It is with that hookup between Lens and Twitter. It's automated.
Cool. Okay, that's awesome. I would just say like, please don't spend too much time on it. But if it's like a quick thing, that's cool.
I'll put it at the bottom of my list, and then when I get around to it, because I know it's not a priority. Yeah, no worries.
Okay, perfect. I would have loved to go through the board more. So one thing I would just want to add is like a few of these are like we do tend to do that every week, like kind of doing some like announcements, like using the agenda to do like announcements about things. And like I don't want to like close off the agenda to like certain things like that, but they do take up time, and I'm not always aware what it is until it's like here and popping up, and then we click on it and it's sort of just like an FYI, and then there's another FYI and there's another FYI. So I'm kind of wondering like what you think might be a solution to this, because I would prefer to have those FYIs or announcements sort of like at the bottom of the agenda and maybe sort of indicated that it's just an FYI. Because I we also have like the Discord channel for that, to bring it attention to the whole comms team. And we have this limited 1 hour for this meeting. So I don't know if you guys agree with me or not, but I kind of have that feeling about it.
Corey, you know how you have a call to action section on Communitas? What if we did, like an FYI section? Because I find things get really lost in Discord. Like I would much rather come into this doc and see what needs engagement or feedback or FYI or heads up and find it all in one centralized place. Because for me, it's like Discord gets really, you can't pin, like on Asana and stuff, you can pin stuff, on Slack. Sorry, you can pin stuff. So I never lost stuff in Slack, but Discord, I lose stuff all the time. So I think that would be great to have it all in one doc. That would be awesome, for me at least.
Agree.
Okay, that sounds good. I'm cool with that. Yeah, that's good because it's like, like everyone sort of has their own FYIs, right? And that could actually like build up quite fast. And I'm just trying to think of I'm always trying to think of how to crunch in this 1 hour effectively. And okay, so that I'll take a look at the Communitas work agenda and mirror that. And then we can have like this FYI section. And if there's something really urgent, like, okay, there's this, Give Us Essentials meeting like tomorrow, like that should really just be mentioned, like, sure. And otherwise it can just be a section. Cause okay, that's fine. If that's okay with everyone. I don't want to like say like, don't post things here, but it's a little bit hard to time manage. Right. I'll add on to that. And otherwise, thank you so much for your time. I know we're already over. Just quick reminder, please fill out this doc. Really appreciate that. And I'll give you some time to get used to like putting in estimated timelines and stuff like that. I might send out some reminders and whatever, but I would really appreciate if we could start using that as well. And otherwise we'll be in touch this week, and I hope you have a great day and evening. And thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.